I want to get onto something super positive then in terms of Ben Proud. You know, he had a year, right? Like he had a year. This kid just went on and separated himself, I believe, with the rest of the world this year in terms of being the #1 sprint freestyler in the 50 freestyle in terms of power and speed and explosiveness. This is the guy now, and it's so cool to see. I was talking to James Gibson about him, congratulating him, and I was actually telling him I'm going to have you on the podcast. He said, mate, John was a massive influence in Ben Proud's career, obviously. So first of all, congrats on that and everything Ben has achieved. But just tell us a little bit about Ben. He's really special, mate.
He is. I mean, I haven't coached Ben now for 5 years. Mm-hmm. So the last time I was coaching him was into Rio 2016. Mm-hmm. But in that period, and I coached him from about 15 years of age through to Rio. The memories of coaching him are just like the most sublime memories as a coach, because he's just the easiest guy in the world to coach, because he'd trust in you or he wouldn't be with you. And the manner in which he questioned sometimes what he might be doing and whether it could be changed was done in such a gentle and honorable fashion that it was that situation where, yeah, I'll change this, Ben, not a problem, because you've gone about it in such the right way as an athlete.
Right.
He was, and I believe continues to be, the ultimate professional. You know, if every swimmer in the world lived and behaved like Ben Proud, they'd all be faster than they are now, because it was literally 24/7, 365 days a year of diligence, professionalism, and that whole concept of every decision you make, it's either a positive effect on you or it's a negative effect on you. There's nothing that just keeps neutral, every decision. And he just loaded the professional side of the road and the positive side of the road. You know, when it came to nutrition and hydration and sleep and social life, and just you know, ticked every single box. Did it mean that he was a robot and he didn't enjoy life? No, he did. But yeah, just such a super guy. You know, the term gentleman has got lost in everyday language as to what a gentleman is, and its original origins is a gentle man.
Yeah, and
that's what Ben is. He's a gentle giant. He's unbelievably respectful, a pleasure to be around. Yeah, I couldn't have enjoyed coaching anybody any more than coaching Ben. And we made him quick, and James Gibson made him quicker.
Yeah.
And that was great to see too. I mean, I couldn't have handed him on to a better guy than James. James and I did a lot of stuff together whilst we were both based in England. Bounced off each other a lot, and you know, would be good friends as well as colleagues. So it was fantastic that, you know, Ben, I think you should go to James. James wanted to coach him. Happy days. But the greatest exponent of Ben Proud's abilities and Ben Proud's speed is himself.
Yeah.
He is a self-managed, self-reliant, self-aware individual beyond compare.
Right. And I love that about him, because what he's doing, you know, I swam for Australia back in, you know, the early 2000s, where you had the Ian Thorpes, the Grant Hackett's, the Kieran Perkins, you know, like the 1500, the 400, it was kind of like, that was what everybody aspired to, because we had these heroes, true heroes, right? And I swam the 50 freestyle, and it was looked upon, it was looked down upon. First of all, it wasn't even looked at as a real event. It was looked at as somebody who's just, you know, stands up on the blocks and hopes for the best, you know? And I was like, this, first of all, it's a real event. Second of all, like the best people win, right? And I think this is what Ben is doing now. Ben's proving the best people win. He's won the Commonwealths this year. He's won the world title. He's won the European title. He's won the triple crown, right, in the swimming world. And what he's proving is that the best people win consistently in the 50 freestyle. It's not a crapshoot. It's not a hope for the best. It's not a anyone can win this thing. You know, Cesar Cielo didn't have that opinion. Cesar thought, I'm racing one, maybe two guys here, and the rest of them have no chance. And I'm sure that's the way Ben's kind of getting up on the block now, not looking down on his competition, but saying, I'm so good at what I do. I've created separation with everybody else. You don't have a chance to beat me unless you do all these things, right, that are better than me. And you can't do it because I do it so well all the time. And that's what I love about what Ben is doing here. He's proving that you need to be extremely professional to do what he's doing and compete at the level he's competing at and be as consistent as he is. And he's showing the rest of the world that it is not a hope or a crapshoot or just get up on the block and anyone can win this thing as long as you pull the water as harder than the next person. It's a science here and it's an art, and I'm just so glad he's doing what he's doing. You know,
there's so much in what you say there, Brett. I think that Ben, we worked on this for a long time, and I'm sure this still resonates with him, that, your lane is your space. And it doesn't matter if you're in the middle lane, it doesn't matter what's going on with the 4 guys to your left and the 3 guys to your right, or whatever that might be. Your piece of water is your piece. Yeah, there's something to be said if you've not got a great start that you should be on the left lane line or the right lane line in the first 20 meters. But his start was so brutally good that he was just down the middle of the lane. Yeah. It's your own process. And the moment you're conscious of what's happening to the left or right of you is the moment that your rate changes or you miss a catch or, the hundredths of a second error creep in. So you blinker yourself completely from what's taking place. And he was able to do that. And I remember, he was a young man when he won his first Commonwealth gold. It was 2014 in Glasgow. I think he was only 19 years of age. And he had Roland Schumann to one side of him and George Bavell to the other side of him. And George was shadow boxing and, trying to put this young guy off. And Ben was just like, I just do my thing. Yeah. And he's been like that ever since. And the other great thing about him is he's had some tough times where he hasn't got the result that he wanted or expected, particularly in the Olympics. 2016, he was 4th. Which would have hurt him. And then he didn't have a great Tokyo either. But everything either side of those has been fantastic. But that hasn't affected him. He's just gone, okay, pick up again, we go again, and we'll get it right next time. And so there's nobody in that event that deserves an Olympic medal come Paris more than he does.
Yeah. That's going to be that's going to be fun. It's always fun. The Olympic final is always a cool one. But again, I want him to be kind of one of those guys who is in, where you say it's between these 3 guys, right? And Ben's definitely going to be one of those guys. So if there's a 50 freestyler out there and you got 2 years till Paris, you better start figuring it out now, because Ben Proud's going to be in that top 3 conversation 2 years from now, no doubt. So that only leaves 2 other spots for the conversation. So you better be working now, or you're going to get left out of that conversation. So yeah, it's really interesting. I love to see it. He's peppering that 21 flat mark as well. And I think it's only a matter of time before he has that ultimate breakthrough. I think he's coming for that world record. I saw him in Rome actually swim a 21.1, and again, it's not I don't think it's the best venue to swim as fast as you possibly can, and here he was going 21.1. So look, that 20.9, I think, I can't wait to see somebody get under that barrier, and I think he's right there with it. So exciting time. But